Hey everybody, Critter Creature Trucks back with another video today. And today we are doing a top 10, another one of our top 10 lists. Our top 10 favorite Disney TV series. Well, one's not going to be on this list since it was already mentioned, and that was American Dragon Jake Long. He's one of my favorite Disney. He's one of my favorite non-Marvel DC superheroes. Now first, number 10, Chippendale Rescue Rangers. Yeah, this one was one of my favorites growing up. I always loved seeing Chippendale and how they would mess around with Donald and everything. Those cartoons were funny. But now they are better than that. Chip wearing his custom aviator's jacket and fedora. And don't forget Dale wearing a Hawaiian shirt. Yeah. And they team up with Mortimer. No. Monterey Jack. And Gadget. Gadget, she was one of my favorite cartoon crushes. She's a mouse, but she's got the biggest brain you would ever hear. You would ever see. And they go around solving a whole bunch of different cases. And fighting, going up against a whole bunch of villains. Not just their own animal villains, but a lot of human villains as well. And Chip and Dale always have a little bit of their own brand of nuttiness to it. And for number 9, I am the terror that flaps in the night. I am the reviewer who will get 500 subscribers. I am Darkwing Duck. Yeah, Darkwing Duck, the fine feathered version of, Batman. But Darkwing Duck, his real name is Drake Mallard, and he's not like Bruce Wayne rich. He's just mild-mannered Drake Mallard, not a reporter or anything like that, but he's a really good duck. And who's with him also? Launchpad McQuack. I was kind of surprised when I saw Launchpad when I first started watching this. Come on. Wait, Launchpad is in this? And then I realized Darkwing Duck was before DuckTales. Or after DuckTales. Yeah, but still, it's a really good show. He fights his own brand of weirdo villains, like there's Dr. Bushroot. Then there's the Taurus Bulba and a whole bunch of others I forgot. And he doesn't just have Launchpad at his side. He also has his adopted daughter, Gosling Waddlemeyer. Gosling is... she's fun. After she lost her grandfather, she started to partner up with Darkwing, and that was she was an orphan. And after their first big adventure, Drake decided to adopt her. not only is she like a valued sidekick, but also a really great daughter. Then, number 8, gargoyles. Yeah, even though they look like demons, they're more like angelic protectors. Why else do you see them at churches and stuff? Yeah, they're more like angelic protectors. In the day, they're just statues, but at night, they soar through the skies with claws that can rip through stone, strength of 5 men. But not many of them are left. The leader of this team of remaining gargoyles is Goliath. He and 5 others were a magic spell was cast on them for 1,000 years. Now in the modern world, facing not knights and swords, but robots and other kinds of bad guys. And number 7, Buzz Lightyear of Star Command. I love Buzz Lightyear in the movie. He's of Toy Story. I also loved the pilot movie they did, where Buzz isn't the only one fighting against, Zurg. There's also Mira Nova, a princess who wants of the Tangian royal family. Then there's Booster, who's a big, lovable farm hand now turned space hero. And XR. What's so funny about XR? Normally, he was a Star Command robot, with no personality, but after the LGMs did a little tinkering without the whole Unimind thing, oh yeah, he turned into someone smart but kind of scaredy cattish, or more like Shaggy. Yeah. And in this series, they don't just fight Zurg. There's also a whole bunch of other villains. Like Nose 482, who is a robotic energy vampire that Zurg created. Then there's also the Wire Wolf. And there's also XL, Gravitina. I mean, there's a whole bunch of other villains they fight. Oh, yeah. And not to mention Warp Dark Matter. Oh, he was a space ranger, but it turns out he was always on Zurg's side. Oh, man. But I cannot wait. I really hope they do a sequel to the Lightyear movie, because I really want to see them with Warp Dark Matter. And then with Zurg back. Number 6, Lilo and Stitch, the series. After we know about Experiment 626, also known as Stitch, being part of Lilo's family now. But if he was Experiment 626, what happened to the other 625? Yeah, that's what we find out in the Stitch movie, which is actually the pilot episode, the pilot movie for the entire series, where we get to meet all of other Stitches with their own unique kinds of powers. Some can control fire, ice, and a whole bunch of other different kinds of powers. Yeah. There's even one that's like a lie detector. Oh, yeah. Not to mention Cannonball, who can actually cause waves with a cannonball. Yeah, he was fun. So not only do Lilo and Stitch have to make sure that all these 625 experiments don't get activated when they get wet. Well, and even when they do get activated, Lilo and Stitch try to find them good homes on the island where they can benefit the whole island. And what do you know? Their mission gets complete. And it all ends with one movie called Leroy and Stitch, which is all about Experiment 627. A very, very advanced evil version of Stitch. Oh, man. Yeah, and I really loved that series growing up. Number 5. The Lion Guard. This is basically... We all saw, like a whole... We all know about the story of Lion King. Afterwards, we see Kiara born who is next in line for the throne. But did you know that Simba and Nala have a son too? And his name is Kion. The second Lion Royal in line for the throne. And Kion was not going to be king of the Pride Lands. He was more destined to be the leader of the Lion Guard, the Lion Guard are a team of lions who are the fiercest, the strongest, the fastest, the bravest, and the keenest of sight. And the reason why Kion was destined for this is because he has the roar of... He's got an incredible roar that has power. And who else had this power? It was Scar. But after using it for evil, he lost the roar. Man, there was a whole bunch of stuff with that one. But Kion doesn't pick lions to be part of his Lion Guard. He picks his best friends, Bunga the Honey Badger as the bravest, Fuli the cheetah the fastest. Then there's a hippo. I do not remember his name, but he becomes like the strongest. Then there's Ono, a bird. I don't remember what kind of bird he is, but he becomes the keenest of sight. And they protect the Pride Lands and the Circle of Life. It's kind of like Lion King mixed with the Avengers. And we also get to see what happened, like you figure out where was Kion during Lion King 2, Simba's Pride. That answer is mentioned in the final season. Yeah. Number 4, Tangled the series. I loved the movie. I didn't think they could ever do something like that with Rapunzel. I loved it from start to finish. And the movie pilot was Rapunzel's Tangled Adventure. After the first movie, this one takes place 6 months later after the first one, where she was still having her brunette cut hair. But some weird things happen when she and her handmaiden, Cassandra, go to the spot where the Sundrop flower was. Yeah. Big black rocks that are like indestructible. And after Rapunzel touches one of these rocks, her hair grows back. But it doesn't have magical powers. The magical healing power it has. Instead, it has the same kind of magical properties as those black rocks. Now it's completely indestructible. So she, Flynn, and Cassandra are having incredible adventures. We find out a whole lot of stuff, and we also get to hear some very, very good songs. Meet some new characters, new friends, a whole lot of other twists and turns. Number 3, Amphibia. This one is all about Anne Boonchoy, a regular 13-year-old girl she and her two friends, Sasha and Marcy, open a magical music box that transports them to another world called Amphibia, which is all filled to the brim with talking frogs, toads, and newts. And which also has giant bugs. Ooh. Ew. Yeah. And she ends up being with the planters. There's Hop Pop. There's also Sprig and his little sister Polly. I loved the whole thing with this show from start to finish. This show will have lots of drama, action, comedy, twists and turns, everything. I mean, you will not believe the kind of adventures Anne and the planters will have while she tries to find her friends, Sasha and Marcy, and trying to find a way to get back home. Number 2, The Owl House. This series was like, whoo-wee. I mean, another Disney show where the main character is transported to another world. And her name is Luz Noceda. She is incredible. An incredible 13-year-old girl who dreams of wanting to be a witch. But as she was going to go to a summer camp, she finds herself going through a portal and meeting Edeling Clawthorn, the owl lady. And not to mention the cute little demon King. Yeah, who's the self-proclaimed King of Demons. But he's just so adorably cute. And the Owl House, it's incredible. But it also has a house demon named Hooty, who's very annoying to this day. But he's funny. She wants to learn to be a witch. And Luz will do anything to do it. Going on an incredible adventure for the summer. Meeting new friends and finally fitting in. You will love this from start to finish. I guarantee it. Number 1 is Big Hero 6, the series. We all love the big, white, plushie, huggable robot Baymax. But after the first movie, but in this one, in this whole entire series, we get to see what happens after. What other villains, Hero, Go-Go, Wasabi, Honey Lemon, and Fred have to deal with after they defeated Professor Callahan. And I loved this show from start to finish. Oh, and here's an honorable mention. My other favorite Disney TV series, and that was Kim Possible, teenage spy that everybody likes. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And bye, everybody. Rah!